Hey YouTube, my name is Ginny. So, I'm in my first semester of college, and in my English 101 class, we were asked to write a You're Missing Out essay. Basically, our professor wanted us to write a paper about something we were passionate about and wanted the world to be aware of. It had to be a topic too, where we wouldn't have to do any research, so that required that we already knew enough about the subject to write a 5-page paper about it. Anyone who is close to me knows that I'm a huge nerd. I love science, video games, movies, and TV shows. They also know that I love to talk about these things. I always tell people there's 3 themes that if you get me to start talking about them, I'll never shut up. Those 3 themes are my faith, Star Wars, and Mass Effect. Of these 3 themes, I decided to write about Mass Effect because I figured it's something a little bit more obscure than the other 2 and that it would be really fun to write about. And as a final project for the class, I've decided to turn my essay into a YouTube video, so that's what brings us here. Anyways, with that background information to get us started, here goes nothing. This is why Mass Effect is the only game I've ever finished. I am definitely not a gamer by any means. Don't get me wrong, I love video games, I just don't play them as much as I used to. In fact, in all my gaming experience, I've only ever been able to finish 3 games. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. When reflecting on why this is, I came up with some reasons why, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on in this video. In Mass Effect, you play as Commander Shepard, whose gender, appearance, abilities, and even backstory you can customize. The year is 2183, and mankind has achieved intergalactic travel only recently, by the discovery of ancient, dark energy-powered tech left behind on Mars by an ancient alien race known as the Protheans. Shepard begins as a high-ranking soldier in humanity's Systems Alliance, serving aboard an advanced spaceship called Normandy. At the beginning of Mass Effect, Shepard is sent on just another routine mission, and nothing about the mission ends up being routine at all. Turns out there's an ancient race known as the Reapers, who every 50,000 years come out from their hiding at the edges of the galaxy and wipe out all intelligent life. And so the adventure begins. Over the course of the 3 games, you make choices as Commander Shepard that will control the destiny of the Milky Way, kicking butt and making friends along the way. The story of Mass Effect is both a meaningful and enjoyable one. There are scenes that get you pumped up, lines that make you laugh, and yes, a few that tug heartstrings as well. And what happens in the story is mostly up to you. The game has a built-in morality scale. Almost every decision you make has a Paragon and Renegade option. Paragon actions are compassionate, merciful, and peaceful, while Renegade actions are ruthless, remorseless, and usually aggressive. This makes the role of the player that much more exciting. It's all up to you. Will Commander Shepard be a valiant hero or a fierce warrior? I personally found a lot more satisfaction and enjoyment in playing as a Paragon, although sometimes the bad guys really do deserve an extra punch to the face, so to speak. The world building of the Mass Effect series is incredible, and it's probably my favorite sci-fi universe besides Star Wars. All of the different alien races are unique and well thought out, not just in their appearance, but also in their histories and attributes. There's also a lot of exploring in the first 2 games, and the detail the developers put into creating a believable Milky Way is immensely impressive. For example, many of the alien solar systems rotate around real-life stars, Arcturus for example. 2 of the most fun hubs to explore are the Citadel, an ancient and beautiful space station home to creatures from a plethora of different worlds, and my personal favorite, Omega, a much smaller and seedier station brimming with pirates and mercenaries, and ruled by the imposing but awesome Arya T'Loak. Ask any Mass Effect fan what their favorite part of the games are, and they'll most likely say the same thing I would: the characters. To me, if you don't feel emotionally attached to the characters by the end of a game, was it really worth it? Almost all of the characters in Mass Effect undergo a lot of evolution and development throughout the games. For example, in Mass Effect 2, the recently released prisoner Jack, who wields the ability to manipulate dark matter, called biotics, becomes a part of your team. To say she's rough around the edges would be putting it lightly. Her head is shaved, she's literally covered in tattoos, and she isn't afraid to speak her mind one bit. If she offends you, she considers it a bonus. Throughout the game, however, she slowly warms up to Shepard and the crew, and the player discovers her dark past that helps explain at least some of her prickly antics. By the time we see her in Mass Effect 3, her hair's grown out, her personality's slightly toned down, and she's helping train kids who have biotic powers how to control and hone their gifts. Another character that's one of my favorites, and a favorite of many fans, is Liara T'Soni. Liara is a member of an alien race called Asari. Like Jack, she too undergoes some pretty intense character development. When we first meet Liara, she is a shy scientist who often receives criticism for her theories about the ancient Prothean race. She has a hard time expressing her emotions and is uncomfortable or awkward in many social situations. She is adorable and lovable from the start, and as the story continues, we also see her mature and come to terms with the role she wants to play in the galaxy. She ends up becoming a powerful and influential information broker and joining Shepard in the fight against the Reapers, playing a major role in the story of all 3 games. And I couldn't make this video without a shout out to my boy Garrus Vakarian. A member of the militaristic Turian race, Garrus has a heart of gold, but isn't the biggest fan of rules and red tape. Like Liara, he's a major character in all 3 games, is one of Shepard's closest friends, and a definite fan favorite.
We're a team, Garrus. There's no Shepard without Vakarian.
Yep, Marines the feels, every time. One of the most unique themes about Mass Effect is that you play as the same character that you've created throughout all 3 games. I don't think there's another RPG out there like it. You come to really care about Shepard throughout the games, and it creates almost an I'm proud of my child feeling. Overall, the Mass Effect games are just fun to play. This series is very well paced, just the right amount of combat, role-playing, and cinematic scenes. In addition, the Mass Effect games are fairly short, especially when compared to many other games in the RPG genre. Each game, and the entire series as well, has a definite ending to it, and the developers didn't hide the main storyline under a mountain of side quests. I feel like many newer RPGs like Skyrim, Fallout, and the latest Dragon Age game feel like they take eons to complete, and sometimes leave players feeling like they'll never end. Which I suppose is appealing to some players, but I much prefer a game that doesn't leave me feeling lost and confused. To this day, the Mass Effect series are still the only video games I've ever finished. The world of Mass Effect is a spectacularly fictional universe that is a ton of fun to explore. The fast-paced plot draws you in and doesn't let you go until the credits roll for the final game and you're left with nothing but your box of Kleenex to console you. By the time you finish Mass Effect 3, you've become so familiar with the characters and their world that you almost feel like a part of it. And to me, that's what a successful RPG should do. Give you a world to escape to for a little while. I would definitely recommend the Mass Effect series to anyone looking for a new game to play, whether you're a pro gamer or have never touched a controller. If you haven't had the chance to play Mass Effect, you're definitely missing out.